Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 8th. So students, in today's video we will start reading with our next chapter from the book Honeydew. This is chapter number 6 and the name of the chapter is This is Geordie's Fawn, and this chapter is written by Marjorie Keenan Rawlings. So she is the writer of this chapter. So students, as the title suggests, this is Geordie's Fawn. In this chapter we are having one fawn. Fawn means baby of a deer and Geordie is a name of a boy, right? So Geordie is a boy and that boy is having one fawn. So you know what is the story about that fawn, that we will come to know in this chapter. So now let's begin with our chapter. First of all, before you read, so before starting reading the chapter, let's get some idea. In this story, Geordie's father has been bitten by a rattlesnake. So in this story, we will come to know that Geordie's father, he has been bitten by a rattlesnake, and rattlesnake, they are very much poisonous. And you know, by chance, Geordie's father, he was bitten by this kind of very poisonous snake. He quickly kills a doe and uses its heart and liver to draw out the poison. So at that time when Geordie's father, he was in a very miserable condition because you know the poison was spreading in all over his body. So now he was having one idea, one remedy, and according to that remedy he quickly kills one of the doe. Doe means the female deer. So there was one female deer nearby. So Geordie's father, he kills one of the doe and then he uses doe's heart and doe's liver to draw out the poison. So this is a kind of remedy, and you know whenever the heart and liver of a female deer that is used, okay, so in this remedy heart and liver of the female deer that is used to draw out the poison. So Geordie's father, he also applied you know this kind of remedy. Geordie wonders what will happen to the little fawn left without a mother. So when they killed the doe, when they killed the female deer, and that doe was having a baby with her, that doe was having a fawn with her. So now Geordie, who is a small boy, so now Geordie is wondering, and he is very much innocent, and at the same time he is very much kind hearted. So now Geordie is very much you know wonders that now what will happen to the little fawn, because now that fawn is having no mother, that fawn is left without a mother because Geordie's father, he himself kills that doe. So now obviously the fawn, the baby deer, now that baby deer is having no mother. So without a mother, how will he able to survive? So now Geordie, he is very much you know worried about that fawn. Now he just wanted this thing, that fawn will be in a good state. So now he is wondering about the situation of that fawn. Clear? So now let's start our chapter. This is part 1 of our chapter. Geordie allowed his thoughts to drift back to the fawn. So now we all have read about the story, that what this story is all about. So in this story we are having one boy, the name of the boy is Geordie. So now Geordie, he allowed his thoughts to drift back. Drift back means to go back again and again to the fawn, and we all know fawn is the baby of a deer. Like in this picture you all can see this baby deer is known as a fawn. So now Geordie, who is a boy, so again and again he was thinking about that particular fawn. He could not keep it out of his mind and he was totally helpless. He was unable you know to control over his thought, because again and again he was remembering, he was thinking about that fawn only, and he could not keep that fawn out of his mind, because now Geordie, he was very much worried, he was very much you know careful about that fawn. He had held it in his dreams in his arms, and now Geordie, he was thinking about that fawn so much that even when he was sleeping, so in his dreams also he was having the dreams of that fawn only, and in his dreams he was holding that fawn into his arms. Okay, so now we can see, we can imagine, we can realize this thing, that yes, Geordie, he is a very kind hearted boy, because he is very much worried about that fawn, the fawn who is having no mother, who is totally motherless, who is all alone there in the forest. And Geordie, he is very much concerned, he is very much worried about that fawn, that he is thinking so much that even in his dreams he is you know seeing that fawn, and he is seeing that he is holding that fawn into his arms. he slipped from the table and went to his father's bedside. So now when Jody, now his thoughts were not in his control, now when he was unable to keep that phone out of his mind, so finally he slipped from the table. Finally वो जहाँ बैठा हुआ था उस टेबल से वो नीचे आता है, and then he went to his father's bedside. Okay, Penny lay at rest. So Penny is the name of Jody's father. So when he went to his father's bedside, then he found that his father, that is Mr. Penny. So Mr. Penny, he was laying at rest. So he was lying on the bed and he was taking rest. Why? Because we have read earlier that he was bitten by a rattlesnake. So now he was resting, and Jody, who was totally unable to have control over his thoughts, who was thinking again and again only about that phone. So now he just wanted to share his thoughts, now he just wanted to share his concerns. So now he is there at the bedside of his father, and his father, that is Penny, he is resting. Okay, his eyes were open and clear, but the pupils were still dark and dilated. So when Jody, when he went to the bedside of his father, then he found that his father is resting, his father is lying on the bed, and his eyes were open and clear. So yes, he was resting, but he was not sleeping, right? So his eyes were open, his eyes were clear, but the pupils were still dark. But the pupils of the eyes, pupils means eyeballs, like in this picture we all can see, these are known as pupils. So the pupils of his eyes, they were still dark and they were dilated. Dilated means enlarged. Okay, और हमारी जो pupils होती हैं वो enlarge कब हो जाती हैं? When हम बहुत ज़्यादा हम tired होते हैं, हम बहुत ज़्यादा anxious होते हैं, right? जब हम बहुत ज़्यादा restless होते हैं, so because of all these reasons जो हमारी pupils होती हैं, they are enlarged. So now the same situation was there with Penny, that is Jody's father. His eyes were open, eyes were clear, but the pupils, or we can say the eyeballs, they were still dark and still they were enlarged, they were dilated. Jody said, "How are you feeling, Pa?" So first of all, Jody, he asked about his father's condition. So he was having this question and he asked that, "How are you feeling, Pa?" "Just fine, son. Old Death has gone thieving elsewhere, but wasn't it a close shave?" So now let's see what is the answer, what is the response of Jody's father. So he is saying that just fine, son. So when Jody, when he asked that how are you, how is your condition now, then he said that okay, I am fine, son. Next he added this thing that old Death has gone thieving elsewhere. So student, just notice this thing, that now we are having this word death, and the first letter of death, that is D, it is written in a capital letters, right? So this is quite strange, because death is a noun, and the first letter of D is of death, that is D, that is capital. It means the writer, he is personified death here, and now he wanted to say this thing that death is just like a person, and that person was there to steal his life, because जैसे जो thief होते हैं वो किसी के भी घर में enter कर जाते हैं, why? Just to steal the things. So now here Jody's father, he is saying and he is comparing actually death with a thief, with a person who was there in their house to steal his life, right? But now finally that person has gone somewhere else, that person has gone to some other house. So next he is saying this thing that wasn't it a close shave? Close shave means a very narrow escape. It means he wanted to say that he was about to die because he was bitten by a rattlesnake, and rattlesnake, they are really very much poisonous. So now he was just about to die, but by chance he is safe and sound. Why? Just because of that dough, because he used the heart and liver of the dough. So now he is saying that he was about to die, but by chance, or we can say it was very much fortunate that he was able to survive, and now he is very much safe and sound. So he is saying that old Death was here just like a thief to steal his life, but by chance he is safe and sound now. I agree. So Geordie, he is also very much agree with this thing, because he also knew that rattlesnake, they are very much poisonous, and it was very difficult to save his father's life. And yes, it was a very narrow escape, right? because वो किसी भी time उनकी death हो सकती थी, but because of only that doe, because of the heart and liver of that doe, finally his father is safe. So now Geordie, he is also accepting this thing that yeah, this is a fact. Penny said, I am proud of you, boy, the way you kept your head and did what was needed. So now Penny, that is Geordie's father, he is saying that I am proud of you, boy. Why? So he is adding and he is saying that the way you kept your head. So let's see the meaning first. What it means to keep someone's head? It means to handle any difficult situation in a very calm manner. It means जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है, so without being panic, हम बहुत calmly उस चीज को handle करते हैं, then it means that we are keeping our head. Okay, so now here Penny, that is Geordie's father, he is praising, he is appreciating his son for this thing, that when it was the difficult situation, when the father of Geordie, he was bitten by the rattlesnake, so at that time it was Geordie who was there, and he was the person who actually decided all the things in a very calm manner, who handled the difficult situation in a very calm manner, and he actually did all the things that were needed, that were required at that time, right? So now here Penny, he is appreciating this thing of Geordie. Pa. So now Geordie, he is trying to say the thing that why he is there at the bedside of his father, that he is very much concerned about the fawn. So now he is saying, Pa. Yes, son. So Penny, that is Geordie's father, he is replying, yes, son. Pa, do you recollect the doe and the fawn? So now Geordie, he is having this question. He is asking that, Pa, do you recollect, do you remember the doe and the fawn? So now we all know doe is a female deer and fawn is a baby deer. So like in this picture we all can see, this is a mother deer, female deer, that is known as doe, and this is a baby deer, that is known as a fawn. So now Geordie, he is asking that do you remember that doe and fawn? I can never forget them. The poor doe saved me, that's certain. So now Penny, Geordie's father, he is replying that yes, obviously I remember that doe and fawn, and never ever I can forget them. Why? Because it was poor doe, it was the doe only that saved his life. And yes, this is certain, this is true, this is a fact, that if he is safe right now, if he is able to survive, then only because of that doe, because they used the heart, the liver of that doe. So now Penny is replying that obviously he remember that doe and fawn, and never ever he can forget them. Pa, the fawn may be out there yet. It might be hungry and very scared. So now Geordie, who is a little boy, and at the same time he is very kind and he is very much concerned, he is very much worried about that fawn. So he is saying that, Pa, that fawn, now he may be out there yet, he may be there in the forest only, and now it might be very much hungry and it might be very much scared, because now the fawn is having no mother, it is all alone there in the dense forest. So obviously it is very much hungry, because जो mothers होती हैं वही अपनी babies के लिए food arrange करती हैं. So now Geordie is saying that fawn, it must be very much hungry, and at the same time it must be very much scared, because that fawn is all alone in that forest, and there are so many wild animals also there. So that fawn must be very hungry, that fawn must be very much scared. I suppose so. So here Penny, he is also agree with this thing, and he is saying that yeah, this is true. I also suppose, I also guess that yeah, this is true. The fawn, it must be very hungry, it must be very scared. Pa, I am a big boy now and don't need to drink milk. So now here Geordie, he is trying to convince his father for something, and he is saying that, Pa, now I am a big boy, now I am a grown up boy, and now I don't need to drink milk. So why he is saying this thing here, that he is a big boy and now he doesn't need to drink milk? So we will understand this thing later. So now let's see, let's read further. Why don't I go and see if I can find the phone. So now here Jody, he is asking this question that he actually wanted to ask. So first of all, he cleared this thing that now he is a big boy and now he doesn't need to drink milk. And next he is asking that why don't I go and see if I can find the phone. So now Jody, he wanted to bring that phone to his home because that phone is having no mother. And why? Because they only killed the mother of that phone, and that is a very small baby. So obviously it must be hungry, it must be scared. So now Jody is very much conscious, very much concerned, very much conscious, very much worried about that phone. So he wanted this thing that he wanted to bring that phone to his house. So he's asking this question that why don't I go and see if I can find the phone and bring it here. And next thing that Jody wanted, so yes, he wanted to bring the phone at his house and raise it, and he wanted to have that phone as a pet. He wanted to raise that phone. Penny lay quiet, staring at the ceiling. So now let's see the response of Jody's father, Penny. So now Penny, he was still lying on the bed and now he was quiet and now he was staring at the ceiling. So at first Penny, he didn't say anything. He was lying silently and he was staring at the ceiling only. Boy, you have got me hemmed in. And after some time, finally he spoke and finally he said this thing that boy, you have got me hemmed in. So let's see the meaning. What hemmed in means? It means caught in a situation where you can't say no. It means what it means. So let's understand this thing that now Penny, वो जो है obviously he is very much grateful towards the dough. Why? Because of the dough, because of the heart and liver of that dough. Now finally he is safe and sound. Now finally he is able to survive. So obviously he is very much grateful towards the dough and he is having some responsibility. He is having some duty towards the phone who is having no mother now. Okay, and now Jody, he is having this suggestion that they should raise that phone, they should bring that phone to their house. So now Penny is saying that you have got me hemmed in, you have caught me in a situation where I cannot say no. I cannot say no to you, that no, don't go to forest, don't bring the phone here, right? It won't take much to raise it, Pa. It will soon start eating leaves and acorn. So now still Jody, he is trying to convince his father more and more. So now he is adding this thing that it won't take much to raise it, Pa. So he is saying that it is not at all a difficult task to raise a phone and there will be no more difficulties, no problems to raise a phone, Pa. And next he is saying that it will soon start eating leaves and acorn. So what acorn means? In this picture you all can see these are the nuts. Okay, और ये plant पे होते हैं. So now Jody is trying to say कि अगर उनके पास ज़्यादा milk नहीं है then also it is fine because very soon the phone it will start eating leaves and the acorn, that are the nuts, और ये बहुत easily forest में मिल जाएंगे. So now there will be no difficulties and it is not at all a difficult task to raise a phone. You are smarter than boys of your age. So now Penny again one more time he is appreciating Jody and he is saying that you are very smart boy, even you are smarter than the boys of your age. We took its mother and it wasn't to blame. So now Jody is trying to say that why he is so much concerned, why he is so much worried for the phone. So he is saying that we took its mother, we killed its mother, right? And it wasn't to blame, and in this thing the phone obviously he was having no fault and now he is having no mother just because of us, because we killed its mother. Surely it seems ungrateful to leave it to starve, son. I can't say no to you. I never thought I would live to see another day. So now finally Penny, the father of Jody, he is very much convinced this thing that yes, they are having some duty, some responsibility towards the phone and they can't leave that phone all alone in the forest, right? So now he is saying that surely it seems ungrateful, because yes, it will be very much ungrateful थिंग, अगर वो बिल्कुल भी फ़ोन के लिए कंसर्न नहीं है, वरिड नहीं है, और अगर उसको ऐसे अकेला ही छोड़ देंगे, सो ऑब्वियसली इट इज़ अ वेरी अनग्रेटफुल थिंग. सो ही इज सेइंग दैट yes, it seems ungrateful to leave it to starve. Starve means if he will die because of hunger, okay, because he is a small baby and he is having no mother, so if he will die because of hunger, so this thing will be very much ungrateful. Next he is saying that, son, I can't say no to you, I cannot refuse this offer, I cannot deny this offer. And next he is saying that I never thought I would live to see another day, because when he was bitten by the rattlesnake, so obviously he was having this feeling that he will die very soon, because all those snakes, they are very much poisonous. And so if he is able to survive, if he is safe today just because of that dose, so yes, he is saying that I cannot say no, and yes, we are having our responsibility, our duties for that fawn whose mother actually we killed. Can I write back with Millville and see if I can find it? So now Jody, he is having one more question, and now he is asking that can I write back with Millville? So Millville is another member, another character of our story. So Jody is asking this question that can I write back with Millville and can I see if I can find it, if I can find that fawn there in the forest. Tell your ma I said you can go. So now finally Penny, he is giving his permission and he is saying that okay, you can go and you can tell your ma that I said that you can go. So yes, he is giving his permission and he is saying that okay, you can go, and you can also tell your ma that yes, I gave you the permission. He sidled back to the table and sat down. His mother was pouring coffee for everyone. So now Jody, he is very much excited because yes, he was very much worried, he was very much concerned for the phone, and now finally he was having the permission of his father. So yes, he is very much excited, and now finally he sidled back means to walk back in a very quiet manner. So now he walked to the table, again to the table, because earlier in the chapter we have read that वो अपने फादर के पास कहाँ से आया था, पहले वो एक टेबल पे बैठा हुआ था, and from there he came to the bedside of his father. So one more time he walked back to the table and then he sat down, and now he saw that his mother was pouring coffee for everyone. So it was coffee time and his mother, she was preparing coffee for everyone, and now she was pouring the coffee in all the cups. He said, Ma, Pa says I can go bring back the phone. So now Jody, he was having the permission of his father. So he is saying to his mother and he is saying that Ma, Pa says that I can go bring back the phone. So he is saying that Ma, I am having the permission of father, and yes, father agreed to this thing that I can go to the forest, I can bring back the phone here at our home. She held the coffee pot in mid-air. So the mother of Jody, she is very much surprised at what Jody is talking about. So she was unable to understand anything. So she just held the coffee pot in mid-air. So she was holding the coffee pot in her hands. So she held the coffee pot in mid-air then and there only. What fawn? And she was having this question. She is asking, what fawn are you talking about? The fawn belonging to the doe we killed. So now here Jody, he is clearing all the doubts and he is saying that I am talking about the fawn belonging to the doe that we killed, right? We used the doe's liver to draw out the poison and save Pa. So now again Jody, he is trying to explain all the things and he is saying we killed the doe and then we used the liver, the heart of the doe. Why? To draw off the poison, and finally we were able to save Pa. She gasped. So when Jody's mother, when she heard all these things, so finally she gasped. She caught breath, or we can say she was very much surprised. Well, for pity's sake. So again, he is saying that, well, just because of this thing, that yes, we should have some pity, we should have some sympathy for the fawn. Pa says it would be ungrateful to leave it to starve, and he is saying this thing also, that Pa is also, he is also agreed this thing, and he is also saying this thing, that it will be very ungrateful if we will leave the fawn all alone in the forest, and if he will die because of hunger, so this thing will be very much ungrateful. Doc Wilson said, "That's right, ma'am. Nothing in the world comes quite free." So we are having one more character, and this is Doc Wilson. So Doc Wilson was also there, and he was listening this conversation that was going on, between Geordie and his mother. So now Doc Wilson, who is also there, so he is saying that, "That's right, ma'am," and next he is adding that nothing in the world comes quite free. So what it means, what he is trying to say here, he is trying to say here that finally, the father of Geordie, he is able to survive. Finally he is saved. Why? Because of the doe, because they killed the doe, because they use the heart and liver of the doe, right? So it is not a thing that should come free, and now they have to pay something for it. Now it is their responsibility, now it is their duty, and now yes, obviously their duty, their responsibilities towards the baby of that doe, now they are having the responsibility towards the fawn. Okay, the boy is right and his daddy is right. So Doc Wilson, he is also very much agreed with this thing, and he is saying that yes, Geordie is very much right if he is having that much of concern, if he is very much worried for the fawn, then yes, he is right, and his daddy is also right if he is saying this thing, that it would be very much ungrateful if we will leave the fawn all alone in the forest, and if he will die because of hunger, then yes, it will be very ungrateful. So if he is saying this thing, that he is also very much right, it means Doc Wilson, he is also having this opinion that yes, they should be concerned, they should be worried, and they are having their responsibilities, their duties towards the fawn, because they killed the fawn's mother. Melville said, he can ride back with me, I will help him find it. So Melville, he is also there, and he is also listening all the conversation, all the things. So finally Melville is saying that he can ride back with me. He is Geordie here. So he is saying that okay, if Geordie really wants to go to the forest to find the fawn, that he can ride back with me and I will help him to find the fawn. She sat down the pot helplessly. So she is the mother of Geordie. So now when the mother of Geordie, when she realized this thing, that all these people, they have made their mind, they have decided this thing, that the fawn should be there at their home, and yes, it is their responsibility, their duties towards the fawn. So now finally she sat down the pot helplessly. Well, if you will give it your milk, we have got nothing else to feed it. And now she is also very much aware with this thing, that they were having very limited resources there at their home. So now she is saying this thing, that okay, if you want to bring the fawn here, then also be aware with this thing, that we are having nothing else to feed it, and you have to give your milk to the fawn. And in the chapter we have read earlier this thing also, that Geordie already he was agreed with this thing, and already he said this thing, that now he is a big boy, so now he doesn't need to drink milk. So yes, he was ready to share his milk, or we can say he was ready to give his part of milk to the fawn, right? And yes, the family, it was not having so many resources, the resources were very much limited. So Geordie's mother, she was having this concern only, that okay, you can bring the fawn, but you have to give your milk to the fawn, because we are having nothing else to feed the fawn. Melville said. So now Melville, he was saying something. Let's read what Melville is saying. Come on boy, we have got to get riding. So now finally Geordie's mother, she is also giving her permission. So now Melville is saying that come on boy, we have got to get riding. Mom Baxter asked anxiously, "You will not be gone long?" So now finally Mom Baxter, mother of Jodie, she is asking anxiously, she is asking in a very worried manner, and she is having this question that you will not be gone long. It means she is trying to say this thing that come back soon. Jodie said, "I will be back before dinner for sure." So now Jodie, she is saying that for sure we will be back home soon and we will be back before dinner time. Melville mounted his horse and pulled Jodie up behind him. So finally, after the permissions, finally Melville, he mounted his horse. Mounted means to climb. So finally Melville, he climbed on his horse and then he pulled Jodie up behind him, right? So in this picture we all can see this is the horse. Melville, he is sitting here and Jodie, he is sitting behind Melville, and they are riding towards the forest. So they are going to forest just to find the fawn, because Jodie, he is a very kind hearted boy. He is very much concerned for the fawn and he just wanted to bring the fawn to his home just to raise the fawn in a proper way. He said to Melville, "Do you think the fawn's still there? Will you help me find him?" So now Jodie with Melville, they are riding towards the forest. So now on the way, Jodie, he is having this question. He is asking to Melville that what do you think? The fawn is still there. So he is asking that what is your opinion? What do you think? The fawn, it will be there only? And one more question he was having, and he is asking that will you help me to find the fawn? We will find him if he is alive. How you know it's a he? So let's see the reply, the response of Melville. So Melville is saying that yes, definitely we will find him if he is alive. So he is saying that if still he is alive, if still he is able to survive, because that is a baby deer, and that baby deer is all alone there in the forest, and yes, in the forest there are so many wild animals. So he is saying that if that baby deer, if that fawn, if he is able to survive, then definitely we will find him. And then he is asking to Jodie that how do you know it's a he? How do you know that it's a male deer? Okay. The spots were all in a line. On a doe fawn passes, the spots are every which way. So yes, Jodie is a very smart boy. So he is having the answer, and he is saying that I know that that fawn is a male deer. That fawn is a male fawn. How? Because the spots, they were all in a line. So yes, this is a difference between male fawn and female fawn, or we can say male baby and female baby, because on the body of a male baby, on the body of a male fawn, on all the spots, they are in a line. Like in this picture you all can see, here we can see the spots, right? So all these spots, they are in a line. So this is the difference, this is the sign. How can we identify that whether it is a male or female? So on the body of a male deer, the spots, they are in a line always. And if the doe, if the baby, or we can say if the fawn is a doe, or we can say if the fawn is a female fawn, then Jodie is saying that Pa always says that the spots are every which way. All the spots, they are in all the directions, they are all the different way, right? So this is the difference. And Jodie's father, he told this difference, he explained this difference to Jodie, and Jodie, who is a very smart boy, he remembers all the things, and he was able to identify that that baby is a male baby. And now he is explaining the same thing to Melville, that he is able to identify because of this thing, because the spots of that fawn were in a line. And yes, his father, that is Mr. Penny, he told this thing to Jodie that if the fawn is a doe fawn, if the fawn is a female fawn, then all the spots, they are in all the directions. Okay, so now Jodie, he is going to the forest just to find the fawn, because yes, he is very much concerned for the fawn, and he wanted to bring the fawn to his home just to raise it. So what will happen next? Will Jodie, will he be able to find the fawn and to bring it back safely to his house? We will come to know when we will continue the chapter. See you in the next video. Thank you.